All right, it's time to ramble on a Wednesday. I'm Justin.
And I'm JP.
And we are the Podcasting Dad. Apologies for Trending Tuesday being a little bit late. We had a long day yesterday, and we recorded it at the end of the day and didn't have a chance to get it uploaded, but it should be up by the time you're hearing this, so you get 2 for 1 today, even though one of those 2 is late. But still, just think of it as a bonus for today.
Yeah.
But, so if you hadn't heard our Trending Tuesday podcast, check that out. It's where we talk about things trending on the interwebs, stories, stuff like that. Right now is the point of the week where we just ramble about any and everything. Particularly, we just let JP be as much of a degenerate as he wants on the mic without filtering him too much. Yeah. Don't forget to check out our Patreon. Every contribution helps, no matter if it's $1 a month or $1 at one time. It does not matter. All proceeds go into this program, into things like merch that we're going to give back to you, cameras. If you could log in and check our account, you'd see we haven't pulled a penny from it yet. We're trying to make sure that we use every bit of it to improve this podcast and to get us stuff that we can give you. And a special thanks to everyone who's contributed already. We appreciate it so much. We've already gotten up to, I think, at 11. Once we get to 20, we're going to do a big prize giveaway. And remember, no matter what you contribute, if you're a $1 contributor, if you're a $20 contributor, if you only contribute $1 one time, you're still registered to win this big giveaway. Mm-hmm. It's a box full of all kinds of really cool stuff, and we're excited to give away. So get that up to 20, and we'll be selecting a winner. Also, stay tuned after the podcast. We'll give out some social media info. So with all of that out of the way, JP, talk to me, man. What's life like?
Well, man, first off, I got to give a in memoriam. I guess that's how you would say it, right?
Yeah.
Rip Torn, he passed away yesterday. One of my favorite actors. Now, I mean, not somebody that I'm thumbing through his filmography on Wikipedia, man. I mean, he's been in like a million movies from 1956 all the way up. But I
saw that early this morning.
Yeah, man. And it pissed me off so much. I saw it yesterday. This guy, Lonnie, I know, he's like 50-something. And he just loves, whether it's someone in the community that dies, a celebrity, he just loves to be the first person to get it out there. He's one of those, And he puts on the, as much cool stuff as Rip Torn's done. I mean, whether it was, my personal favorite was the Larry Sanders Show. I loved that early HBO series. It was great on that. But I mean, I'm sure a lot of people remember him as Patches O'Hooligan on Dodgeball, or Zed and Men in Black, or the voice of Zeus on the Hercules animated movie. But old Lonnie says, He was on one of my favorite episodes of Columbo. And I'm just like, that's how you remember him, just some, shitty detective show from the 70s.
Content warning too. This is not a for kids podcast. Language is allowed, among many other things. But yeah, so it's like, of all that, of such a great career, that's what you remember.
Yeah, just one little guest spot on Columbo back in whenever the hell it was.
That's like saying you like James Earl Jones for those Geico commercial, or whatever.
Yeah,
I can't remember what commercials he did, but it's like you're completely forgetting The Lion King or Star Wars or any of his great works, or The Sandlot.
Oh, dude, this guy is such an idiot. But anyway,
it was a cell phone commercial, wasn't it? It wasn't insurance. I think it was for cell phones. I think they were reading text or something. God, it's been a while, but I love that commercial.
But, yeah, man, I loved him too, man. You remember Freddy Got Fingered?
Oh, yeah.
2001. That was
I hated that movie.
I loved it, man.
I hated it.
And generally movies like that I would hate, but just...
Like, I like Tom Green's stuff, but I liked how stupid he was. That was the whole point. But I went to the movie theaters to see that, and it was awful.
I saw it I remember seeing... it
might be funnier to me now. Maybe some of it was over my head. But
and I was like, I'm never going to see that stupid thing. And then 5 years later, I guess, I finally see it on DVD with my buddies, and it became like a cult classic for us, man. Just how inane and ridiculous. And Rip Torn's acting, man, I mean... It was just I loved it. I haven't watched it in a long, long time. I might, out of respect for Mr. Torn, I might have to watch that tonight.
Well, R.I.P. to Rip Torn.
Rip Torn,
You're kind of saying rip to rip, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know, man. I think 88, they said he was 88 maybe.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Had a good long
life.
Like I said, I mean, according to Wikipedia, he was in the movies since 1956.
I always said if I make it past 70, I'll consider like a long life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Considering I don't think I ever thought I was going to get there to begin with.
Well, man, our generation, I mean, if anything, the life expectancy is just going to keep going up and up and up, you know, I mean, assuming there's not some cataclysm or, I mean, I know
or dare I say zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, I know we've talked about population control before, and that could certainly be the case. I mean, all the stuff they're pumping into foods and yada, yada, yada. But, you know, that's something I try to be hopeful with, like gene editing technology, stuff that can hopefully we'll see more diseases get cured, you know, as we go down the track. But, you know, at the same time, there's more money to be made in treatments than in cures. So, again, we're, you know, contending with big pharma and all the people getting their pockets lined. And
it's a lot of them making that big money. And how dare we consider legalizing marijuana, which it has been in many places. But how dare we consider that taboo idea, but it's perfectly fine to keep pumping out all of these highly addictive opioids that do things that could be remedied with the non-addictive alternative, marijuana.
Yeah, well, I mean, think about how much money, you know, someone with diabetes spends on a, you know, like a yearly basis. I mean,
it's sad. Yeah. It's sad that in the world, and I mean, I'm all for, you know, making your money. I get you. I feel you. But at the end of the day, it is sad that we live in a world where, you know, honestly, it sounds terrible, but like healthcare is that profitable of a business. I mean, number one, even if you charge good rates, there are enough people that need your medicine. You're going to make tons of money. It's just not enough. You need even more.
Yeah.
I hate that. I feel bad for people. I mean, I've been fortunate right at this point in my life to not need any medication, but I mean, I you know, who knows what the future holds. But
yeah, man. Well, I mean,
I feel bad for people whose life depends on a medication that's being dangled over their head at rates that they can barely or cannot afford, or getting them put in debt just to survive. It's horrible.
Well, I mean, you know yourself, like, I mean, you have something as small as having to wear contact lenses. I'm sure that's not like a cheap thing.
No, I just paid like $300 for a year's supply.
And I mean, like, the technology exists.
Maybe 2 years supply.
And I'm not one for, you know, like free. Oh, I mean, free universal health care would be awesome.
I was going to say the same thing. I'm not one of these that is like, you know, oh, we need to give away everything. But at the end of the day, I mean, we can at least give reasonable rates for help, you know, for these things. I mean, it's just all about making money. You know what I'm saying? It's what it all boils down to. It's just like the douchebag that bought the rights to the AIDS medicine and then jacked the rate up ridiculously high just to make extra money.
Yeah, man. I mean,
it just sucks that there are people whose conscious, you know, they don't have any sense of conscious, you know, like the conscious, is that what I'm trying to say? Conscience.
Yeah.
Like
cricket.
Yeah, they just, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, man, I mean, I'm all for capitalism, and I don't want to live in some, like, welfare state where, you know, us that work, our money gets dispersed. And I know it does, like, with Medicaid and stuff, but I just, universal. It'd
be on a much larger scale if
right.
it was something like that.
Yeah, just that does kind of scare me. So, I mean, like, you know, we were kind of coming of age when Obamacare came around, you know, just getting out of high school and all that stuff. And, I mean, it sounds great. You know, you're just getting out of school. You're like, I got to pay for this and this and this. And then some guy comes along like, well, hey, that should be free. But then, you know, you kind of find out as you go along, nothing's really free. It just means your taxes are going to get jacked up.
Nothing in this world is free.
But then, you know, you think, I mean, your taxes get jacked up. You're going to get it in the ass in a less than pleasant way, one way or the other, no matter who's in charge or what kind of system it is. I don't know, man.
Poor JP, his shirt popped a button this morning, so every time I look over, his stomach is just staring at me. That's a hairy ass stomach, man. Like,
yeah,
I mean, it's so hairy. I thought when he told me he was like, and I didn't even wear a shirt up under this one today. It's so dark. His stomach is so hairy that when it was popped open or before we started the podcast, I said, "Oh, you found a shirt?" And he's like, "No, that's just my stomach."
Yeah,
like,
man,
Jesus Christ.
I took the bottom button and put it in that second to bottom hole where the other button's missing.
So now it's setting uneven?
Yeah.
That would bother me more than a hole.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to wear it like this today, but just for your benefit, you know, just to kind of close the gap somewhat. But yeah,
I didn't mind staring at your belly button. It kept winking at me.
Well, you know, it's a friendly belly.
Friendly belly button. It's no telling the things that it's seen. You might as well put it back to normal because it's still still a gaping hole right now.
I figured it'd make it a little better.
Not really. I can still see your tummy hair.
Yeah.
There's a lot, man. Like, you are a hairy dude everywhere except for your head.
Yeah, that's the catch-22. All that testosterone hair comes out everywhere, but it stifles the hair follicles on top of your head.
It's weird how that works, right?
Yeah, man, which I was actually reading the other day that, and again, it will probably be too expensive for anyone, but an actual cure for baldness with the stem cells is, in development. So
really,
because man, I would never go in for like a hair transplant or anything. Because at the end of the day, I don't see how it actually resolves the issue of what made your hair fall out in the first place.
Will the hair transplants ever fall out?
Yeah.
Do they grow?
Yeah, it grows. It's like natural hair, but like I said, it's just what caused your hair to fall out in the first place is going to inevitably
make that
hold
fall out
again.
too, right?
So you're just going to have to go through the horror of losing your hair all over again.
Guess that's why I like rich people just get them routinely,
Yeah, man, I read that it can be like, I think like $10,000 a treatment, and
Good
you might
God.
need like 4 treatments just to get your head all the way covered. So
wow, that's nuts. So they go in there and like implant hair follicles.
yeah, they would remove like a bunch of hair from like the back of your neck or something, and then move it up on top of your head. So it's like I said, man, I tried everything except for that. I tried, the Rogaine, the
something gave you explosive
stuff,
green poop, right? Didn't you remember?
Yeah,
you remember you telling us on an old, not on this one, but on an old podcast. I remember the first time you might have talked about it on this one, but I know on an old podcast you talked about it gave you like explosive green duty.
Oh yeah, dude. I was on Rogaine for all of like 2 days, and I got to work and just like almost exploded in my pants, and not in the way that I like, just green diarrhea. It was brutal. It was awful. So that was the last day. And I know some people were like, I've never heard of that. That must have been something else. No, it wasn't.
Did you eat? Because they say the what is it? Captain Crunch. Yeah, the Captain Crunch Oops All berries they say will turn your poop green.
No, I'm not a cereal guy.
Oh, you're not? So you hadn't eaten any of that before?
No,
you didn't drink any, like, this wasn't after St. Patty's Day, and you drank some beer with green?
Nothing was out of the ordinary except for the Rogaine, and it was brutal, man. Like, I got, like, sinus headaches. But one thing I did that actually worked was it was a generic form of Propecia, basically a testosterone blocker, and that was actually working. But the thing about like cutting off your testosterone, or like stifling it a little bit, it affects the prostate. Like your prostate can get bigger, which can lead to prostate cancer, I guess. But like I would get these sharp pains like right up my asshole, man. Like like somebody was. Like, you remember American Horror Story, the guy?
Oh, God, the spiked dildo?
Like yeah, it's a lot like that. And I just couldn't handle it. Plus, the medicine was expensive.
That season messed me up, man, because because I can't remember the guy's name, but he was my favorite character from that Zooey Deschanel show, The New Girl. Right. What was his name on that? He was the funniest part. He was kind of like the Barney. Well, you never watched How I Met Your Mother, but he was kind of like the Barney Stinson of that show. He just was like, they all were great. Yeah, well, they were all great, but he just was, God, what was his name? Like, I watched that show hardcore, and I can't believe I can't think of his name, but yeah, that was who he banged to death with the spiked dildo at the beginning, and I was like, well, I don't like this season, which actually turned out to be a pretty dope season, but yeah. Did you like season 5 of American Horror Story, The Hotel?
Yeah, I like that one.
I thought it was good.
The one I fell off of was the election year season.
That actually was not bad. That was not bad. I definitely thought it had an agenda, and it not like you think. I mean, they really kind of make fun of both sides. I'm not saying it's not more geared like screw Trump type thing, and but it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, I don't really care. I'm that way. And keep in mind, that's from any end of the political spectrum, man. If they're making fun of Democrats or making fun of Republicans, if it's in your face, like we've talked about, we don't mind subtle political commentary. But when it's like blatant and in your face, I'm like, dude, I get that enough from the news and from Facebook. Like, I go to these shows and these things to, get some escape from all of the, the BS of my real world. So when it's, but it actually was a good season. Nothing crazy though. Nothing really supernatural. But Sarah Paulson, come to find out, is not going to be in the newest season of American Horror Story. So, right? I'm going to probably not like it as much.
Huh. Yeah, I might have. I guess there's been a season since that too. I guess I've missed a couple now.
They had Apocalypse.
Right. Yeah, I missed Apocalypse.
Was there one after? I think Apocalypse was after Cult. I don't know. I have to go back and see. Colt was the last one that I watched.
Because I meant to go back and watch Apocalypse, but just never got around to it.
It hadn't got on Netflix yet, I don't think, so I'm waiting for that.
Yeah.
Unless it has been added recently and I didn't see it. But yeah, I love American Horror Story. But yeah, I'll tell you, if you like American Horror Story, man, a good alternative, like say you love it and you've seen it all and you're waiting for the new one, check out Slasher on Netflix. It's very American Horror Story-ish. It's nothing supernatural, but it's basically like a whodunit, like slasher deal. But I mean, it's very gritty. It's very gory. It's very like in your face. And all 3 seasons of that have been pretty damn good.
Yeah, man, horror's coming back to TV in a big way. I saw like even BET's getting ready to start a horror series.
Really?
I don't know if it's going to be anthology style or what, but yeah,
didn't know that. That's pretty cool. But yeah, man. So what's going on in your life?
No, same old, man. Same old grind.
How are you and the boo thing doing? Y'all good?
You know,
just trucking along.
Yeah,
just trucking along. Oh, me, oh my. So you heard any good? Normally we have so much to talk about. Now I'm like, what is there to ramble about today? Have you heard of any good conspiracy theories or anything? That's where these always go. What are you researching?
I hadn't really like sank my teeth into anything too much. I mean, talking about like healthcare, I know, somebody was getting in my face about something the other day, and I brought up the
like physically getting in your face.
No, but being abrasive, and I brought up the Tuskegee thing, about the impoverished black people back in like the 30s and 40s.
Oh, it's that way they gave them
syphilis.
Yeah, and then just let them go out and just
just studied them like.
That's bullshit.
So I'm telling you, man,
bullshit as in it happened, and it's bullshit they did it. Not it's bullshit as in it didn't happen because it totally happened.
Yeah, it's been declassified at this point.
It's so. If you look it up, man, I found a lot. There's a lot of crazy shit our government has done, experimenting on the general populace. Like I can't remember where it was at. Maybe it was in Chicago or. I can't remember where it was, but they released like thousands of mosquitoes with yellow fever to see how effectively they could spread a disease.
Yeah. Like
with mosquito bombs in the future. I mean, yellow fever, I don't think it was anything. I don't know much about yellow fever, but I think I read that's not that big of a deal. But they just, still without, us even knowing, our government just was like, hey, let's experiment on this. It's for the greater good.
Yeah, man. I mean, people who think they're not willing to do that kind of stuff are really
naive
themselves. Yeah.
Have you, did you know that, all right, obviously Japanese forces killed Americans on American soil, like at Pearl Harbor. But did you know that other people were killed by the Japanese later on in World War II? I never heard of these. Apparently they had these floating bombs, like they were balloon, what do they call them? They were like carried by balloons, more or less, right?
Yeah.
And they called them like fire balloons or something, but they released like thousands of them. And the idea was that the winds would carry them to America. And one of them actually did make it to America and killed several people.
Jeez.
But you've never really heard of that. But yeah, it landed and it killed it killed like one adult and a bunch of children.
Did it make it all the way to the West Coast?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I don't know if I don't know if that's the only one that made it or the only one that actually successfully detonated or what. But yeah, they sent thousands of those things, and one actually, there's a memorial for the people that were killed by it. And it's just something I never heard of in school.
Well, maybe it's not so crazy after all for Victor Strand to fly a hot air balloon out of a inflatable beer bottle.
Well, that was.
Texas.
Hold on, I'm going to look that up real quick so I can give more specific details on that.
That's wild, man.
Japanese fire balloons is what they called them. Let's see. This is from history.com. Claimed its only victims an Oregon church group 70 years ago. Yeah, that's crazy. Killed a church group in Oregon. Let's see. Oh, wow. Elise, the unborn baby, and the 5 children were killed almost instantly by the blast. When a forest ranger in the vicinity came upon the scene, he found the victims radiating out like spokes from a smoldering crater, and a 26-year-old minister beating his wife's burning dress with his bare hands. Wow. That's crazy. Like, I never knew that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just had never heard of that. You didn't hear about that in history class. I've never really seen it on any documentaries, but yeah.
Yeah, man.
Just an interesting little, I mean, that's long in the past, and now we're really cool with Japan. But I'm just saying, like, I never knew that. That was an interesting little bit of information that I had never heard, and I found the other day on YouTube. And I'm like, why didn't we get taught about that?
I'm telling you, man. Thank God for Cotton Hill. Killed 50 men.
What? What?
You never heard of Colonel Cotton Hill?
No.
Oh, well, look him up, man. He's a valuable historical figure as well.
I don't think so.
Yeah, took it right to the, anyway.
Huh.
Oh, man. I wish I was a little bit more prepared this morning.
Well, it's comic book day, so your mind's probably next door at the comic shop.
Yeah, I'm a little faded. Lots of stuff going on, lots of things, bubbling and all this sort of stuff.
Do you have an upset stomach?
No. Last night I did. God in heaven, last night I did. I got to get some fruits and vegetables in my life. You see what I'm saying?
What's bubbling? This is the time to talk about it. Tell us what's going on in the life of JP.
No, I mean, just, same old, sales game. You got people trying to stiff you for money. You got, stuff going on over here, stuff going on over there. I don't know. We'll be all right.
Oh, yeah, we'll be all right.
We'll be all right.
It's going to be okay.
Yeah. So, I don't know, man. I'm trying to think of something interesting I've read or something lately. Gosh, if I don't know. God, this is an awful podcast this morning.
It really is. It really is. But hey, it's random rambling, so at least we, people that show up for this when they know what they're getting. Well, most of them, except for people that find us. Now, I'm sure whoever's found us for the first time today is like, I am not subscribing to that channel.
Yeah,
this podcast. Normally, we're a lot more conversational. I promise you. It's just been a long week already, and it's only Wednesday.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
I think I need to start random rambling Wednesdays with that audio clip from that guy going, "It is Wednesday, my dudes."
Yeah, maybe we should come back and try to do this again at like 3:00. See if we're any better.
No, because then that just means that it's gonna not get put out until tomorrow. Yeah, I don't. We every now and again we have late ones, but I try my best not to have any late ones when we can avoid it. Our friend Jess, that might actually end up happening because our friend Jessie might come up here today to podcast, and if she does, maybe we'll switch it. But let's see.
Wednesday, my dudes.
You've never heard that? Let's do it again.
It is Wednesday, my dudes.
No, and I don't like it. No, make it stop.
I love it. Let's see. What is this? My longest It's Wednesday dudes ever. Oh boy, we have to let the advertisement play.
Oh, jeez.
Life Water.
What's up, my dudes? It's Jimmy here. Today is a special
Hi, Jimmy.
day.
I thought we were going to get along. It's Wednesday, my dudes.
Oh, is that just the name of his show or whatever?
Here we go. We made a Vine. I miss Vine. Here we go.
It is Wednesday, my dudes.
Oh, God, this is awful.
I'm so sorry to subject you guys to that, but I find it hilarious. But it ain't like we're talking about anything more interesting anyways.
Yeah, man, I don't know. We'll do better next.
Well, we got mail call. At least then we have questions. Well, we've got mail call while we're still going to do mail call before we axe that.
Yeah, we'll. I'll think of something better to talk about.
I don't
next
know.
week.
Instead of act, let me see. Did we get a lot of questions? Let's see, because like I said, the amount of questions is going to determine whether or not we keep that as part of our routine thing, as opposed to Let's see. Which I hate to keep bringing it up, but I mean, we just we're transparent with you guys. We try to be. Let's see. Did we get any questions? Right now we have 4 mail call questions. So yeah, go ask some questions on our mail call podcast so we can keep that thing going. 4 questions, we could do that in another video.
Is that because I didn't put it in the proper playlist? Does that have anything to do with it?
Probably.
Yeah, so that could be a part of it.
Probably, maybe.
I would think you'd still get alerts, if.
Well, and one thing too is I got to show you how, thanks to a great suggestion, I think from Josh Barry, our listener, we now put the yellow words on the thing to kind of because sometimes it pops up and people breeze by it because they don't know what it is. Right. And when it says, podcasting dad in the picture, the thumbnail, then they know what time it is. So then they go check it out.
Cool.
But yeah, man. So I'm sorry your shirt broke. God, it's open all over the place. There's a hole up top. Then your belly's hanging. You got to get in the gym with me.
We'll be all right.
I've been trying to get JP. I've gotten back into the gym. It's and when I say back in, I don't mean full force. Like I'm getting back into it. I went yesterday. I'm going today. I went some last week. But I'm trying to get JP to get back into it with me. For a while, he was pretty hardcore in there with me, and now he says that, which you'd be fine. But JP says that he's cool with his dad bod, and what a dad bod he's getting because. There is some stuff spilling out the bottom of that shirt, my friend.
I want to focus on my outdoor endeavors.
Well, then bring your ass and let's go hiking.
Yeah, I just want to focus on my outdoor endeavors.
I was going to tell you, which this isn't really podcast related, but in the next weekend or two, I might come up here and let's do some fishing.
Yeah, wouldn't it be great to make a living in the outdoors?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, we start hiking. We can, I've got. I want to start making some videos when I hike. I've got my drone. I've got the GoPro. I've got lots of different ways to film it, and I would like to make some little videos, like nothing crazy. Like we actually, I don't want to go hiking just to film. I want to hike and then film some of it. But I mean, we make little videos to put on the channel, and if we start, getting enough views or people are into that kind of thing, you can make a living doing that.
There's a lot of wealth in the ground if you're able to find it.
Oh God, so you're talking about gold?
All kinds of wealth.
Why don't you explain to us about your friend Skippy? You're feeling a little neglected now. He basically has just booted you from his friend group, and you're a little jealous because you said he's got a new you. He's replaced you. Tell us about that.
Yeah, me and Skippy, which, by the way, check out Jeffrey Elliott. That's the name. That's his name, and that's the name of his channel on YouTube. He's got a lot of wacky stuff. And, he's just this old cat that I worked with at the grocery store for years, and I'm not really working there anymore, even though they want me to work tonight, but I'm really not wanting to work tonight. But
you hadn't worked there in a while, right?
It's been getting close to a month, I guess. But yeah, man, just I'm gone, and now there's a new stocker, which I was a manager. I wasn't a stocker. I started out that way, but he's just kind of got a new bestie at work, and it makes you a little sad, but at the same time, it's a lot like the Shawshank Redemption, I guess I'd be Andy Dufresne, and he would be Morgan Freeman's character. And you hate to leave, but at the same time, you can't stay in Shawshank. I'm tired.
Did you have to tunnel out of there? Like you didn't? Did you have to actually dig your way out?
It was,
Wow, they don't play, man.
Yeah,
they want you to work your shifts.
They certainly do, and I don't want to work mine tonight.
But you're going to. Is it the one close by or the one further up?
No, it's the one like 30 minutes down the road. So I will probably play hooky.
You'll be like, oh, I've got diarrhea. I tried Rogaine again. You remember that?
Yeah. Oh, boy.
Yeah, but JP's feeling a little down because his friend is pretty much unfriended him and you've been replaced.
Well, so to speak. Yeah, so to speak.
I mean, it's okay, though. We'll always be your friends here on the Podcasting Dead.
Yeah. It's probably with our, your old morning DJ. He probably comes in here and I'm in his chair in the morning and he probably has a similar feeling.
Do you want me to start taking you panning for gold? I mean, I have no experience in it, but we can learn together.
Well, you don't need a whole lot to get started. You basically just got to have that force of will, to keep at it until you find that gold and know what creeks to get in. We'd have to go a little bit farther north in the state, but we could find it.
Well, I'll take you. Maybe that'll make you feel better. I'll buy you some beer.
Yeah.
And I'll take you up, and we'll go panning for gold.
I want some breakfast right now.
I do too. I'm starving. We got to go get comics, and then we got to go get breakfast.
Yeah.
Breakfast. But yeah, I think that's going to wrap up this podcast. I apologize, but
this is a major dud, but we'll have some better stuff to talk about next week.
And here we are trying to convince people to contribute to Patreon. Yeah. Anybody that just joined in is like, I'm not contributing to this pile of shit. I promise you our other podcasts are much better.
Last week was a real hoot, but this week I don't really feel like talking about much. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
This is your first written warning.
What are you going to write it on? Piece of cheese?
No, I'm going to write it on this. Where's my little notepad?
I ain't take it.
Now I'm going to write you up for taking my notepad when I find my notepad. That's 2 strikes. You ain't got but one more. But we'll see you tomorrow for Mail Call. Don't forget, if you are so inclined, to check out our Patreon. I'm not even going to really promote that because this isn't a great example of why you should contribute. But we eventually want to turn these, and when I say eventually, I would love to see it happen by the fall, like turn these into video podcasts. Patreon, just check the link in the description or just go to Patreon and search The Podcasting Dad. Also, you can follow us on social media. Mine's just I'm Justin Lloyd. All lowercase, 2 L's in Lloyd, no spaces, no apostrophes, just I'm Justin Lloyd. Snapchat, Instagram, and Periscope. JP, let them get yours as we wrap this up.
Jpslim on Periscope, and we'll just leave it at that.
Oh, so not even doing the Instagram or Snapchat?
Nah, not today.
Not today. Well, we're going to go get JP some drugs because he's seeming more down than ever.
Oh, man, that would be great.
And don't do drugs, kids. And we'll see you tomorrow for Mail Call. I'm Justin.
And I'm JP.
And we're The Podcasting Dead.